Bonjour and welcome back to World of Tanks with me, Antonow too. And today we've got another garage review to do of the Tier 8 French tank destroyer, the AMX AC MLE 48. This is a really awesome tank. I think I've never had so much fun in a tank than in this one. I wouldn't say it's overpowered really, but it's really good. And we're going to have a quick look at it. So first of all, in the tech tree, you get it after the Tier 7 AMX AC 46, and it leads up to the Foch, and then from that you can get the Foch 155, which just simply is an amazing tank with its 3-shot autoloader clip. This tank is the first really good French tank destroyer you get. There are a few good tanks in the line, like for example the S35CA. I had a lot of fun with this one here. Thought this was a lot of fun. The ARL V39 is not all that good really. I mean, it's bearable, but you know, that's the best it will get. At Tier 7, the 46, well, it's better than the V39, but I didn't really like that one all that much. Although, strangely enough, just after I gave you my negative review of this tank, I started having piles of amazing games in it. So yeah, it's alright, but at Tier 8, the AMX AC 48 this tank is so amazing. It's pure fun. It's got a few drawbacks though. We'll just quickly have a look through its stats. 1000 hit points is not a lot. It's actually very little. All Tier 8 tank destroyers have got very few hit points, but the French one obviously has the least. It's fairly heavy though. 60 tons is quite a decent weight, so you can do some good ramming, and there's a very powerful engine driving these 60 tons. 850 horsepower engine. This is a very fast tank destroyer. It moves at up to 50 kph, and you can actually reach this speed on level ground, so the acceleration is pretty nice. It says here that the traverse speed is only 28 degrees per second, which, well, it isn't all that bad for a tank destroyer, but it isn't very good really. However, the traverse speed feels a lot better. This tank can definitely turn. It's a pretty good traverse speed. The armor is very nice. 150mm at the front. That's amazing. And look at the sloping. For example, the KV4, which is considered to be an extremely tough tank to penetrate, has got 180mm of frontal armor, and if we have a quick look at the picture of it, you can see there's no sloping going on there at all, and that's got 180mm of armor and is ridiculously hard to penetrate. Now, this body here has got only 150mm, however it's sloped back at a very shallow angle. I'd even go as far as saying that this is a 45-degree angle, or if it isn't a 45-degree angle, it's getting on for being one. So this is extremely bouncy here, and you get a lot of ricochets. You find a lot of Tier 8 tanks, nearly all Tier 8 tanks, aren't able to penetrate this frontal hull here, except for the tank destroyers, and low tier tanks don't stand a chance at all. However, it's got weak spots. For example, this machine gun port here, although it's angled very well, so you have to try to hit it bang on. This viewport here is a weak spot as well. However, it is very difficult to hit, because a lot of people make the mistake and shoot it here and here, and it won't do any damage. It will go through, but it hasn't any hitbox because there isn't anything behind it. It will just go right through and nothing will happen. You will only do damage if you hit it here in this part where there's this whatever behind it. However, what can also happen is if you shoot through here, it can also happen that the shell will travel through and hit this machine gun turret at the rear and do damage. If you're shooting down from above, this is a weak spot to this machine gun turret at the rear. Obviously, side and rear armor 40mm is really bad. It's a tank destroyer, everything can penetrate this. tier 3 tanks can penetrate this armor, and there's no angling going on here at all. So you've got a choice of 3 guns on this tank. The first one being the 90mm gun you unlock on the ARL V39. You don't really want to use this because you've already got the 100mm unlocked from the AMX AC46. However, this gun is alright too, it's not a bad gun. However, this is a lot better on this tank. This gun wasn't all that amazing on the 46. It's an amazingly good gun on the 48. I'm not quite sure if it's better than the tier 10 gun. However, this gun on this tank, it just works out that amazingly well. It's just such an easy grind. I had so many amazing games in this tank with this gun here mounted. It's very, very good. The reason for that is because if you look at the gun here, it's got 2.9 seconds aiming time. If we move on to the 48, this gun suddenly gets 2.3 seconds aiming time. And believe it or not, these what is it? Oh god. Yeah, I'm on holidays. My brain is drained of maths. These 0.6 seconds difference make a hell of a lot of difference and change this into a totally different experience on the tier 8 tank. I can really recommend this gun here, it's just so amazing. After that, you can unlock the 120mm, which you'll be using on the Foch, the tier 9 tank as well. And this gun is pretty good as well. It fires a bit slower, however not notably much. It's got 25mm more penetration, which is quite a lot really. 100 HP more average damage. It's a bit more accurate. However, here comes the problem. This gun has got 2.9 seconds aiming time, while this gun has got 2.3. It says 2.3 to 2.9 on both of them. However, believe me, this is 2.3 seconds aiming time, this 2.9. And you've got this problem on all French tanks, starting off with the V39, then the tier 7 tank, the tier 8 tank, the tier 9 tank. It's always the same deal. The gun you carry over from your predecessor had a really, really bad aiming time on your predecessor. However, on the tank you're fitting it right now, it's a really, really good gun because it's got a really good aiming time. However, the top gun on the tank you're driving right now is kind of better really. However, it's got a worse aiming time, which makes it to a kind of a pretty difficult gun to use. And it's the same from tier 6 till tier 9. However, this gun has got so many benefits that I would still recommend it over the 100mm gun. But still, don't be afraid of the grind because this gun's just so much fun to grind with. You'll have to change your playstyle a lot while switching between these two guns. Because with the 100mm gun, and this tank is more like I wouldn't exactly say a frontline fighter, but you have to kind of play it more close up, you know, because you've got a lot more flexibility with this gun. The 120mm, you have to play the tank a lot more cautiously. You have to stay back, you have to play it more as a sniper. This .33 accuracy will easily allow you to do that. However, it's always a problem with the aiming time, but that's just the way you have to play this tank with this gun, and it's still a very, very fun tank to play. The gun traverse 26 degrees. Yeah, gun traverse isn't really that an important stat on tank destroyers. What I still want to point out to you though is that a problem with this tank is that it's got a very narrow gun traverse arc. So that means you can't swivel your gun left and right all that far. You often have to turn your tank's hull to keep up with enemy tanks, for example, that are driving across your shooting range. 370 meters view range is pretty nice considering that this is a very, very low tank, because usually low profile vehicles have got a very bad view range, but 370 meters is kind of average for tier 8, and 750 meters view range is very, very good. That's tier 10 standard view range. Yeah, so obviously, as I already pointed out, because this tank has got a very low profile, it's got amazing camo values, and if you let your crew train camouflage and give it a camouflage net, this tank is really, really stealthy. However, you don't get all that much benefit out of your camo net really, because you have this very, very narrow gun traverse arc, and you often have to turn the hull of your tank to be able to hit your targets, which means that camo net will be disenabled because that only works when you're standing still. As for other equipment, improved vents is definitely a very, very good idea. The gunline drive obviously too, and you definitely want to have the enhanced gunline drive. So I wouldn't really go with camo net. I just got it because I haven't got all that much money to spare, just because it loses its effect nearly over time because you have to swivel your hull around. So again, I'd go with improved vents, the tank gun rammer, and the gunline drive. As for crew, as I already said, camo is a very important skill. You definitely want to have Sixth Sense. Then I would either swap your camo for Brothers in Arms or train Brothers in Arms as a second perk, as I have. For the commander, yeah, you probably should get signal boosting if you want to play this as a sniper, because that will allow you to see your targets at further range. Although 750 meters is kind of very, very good. You can nearly signal over the whole map. So yeah, signal boosting might not be a bad idea. But you could also get situational awareness, that's not bad either. Then for your gunner, I would really recommend Snapshot. However, it isn't really all that efficient on tank destroyers because it only affects the accuracy loss while traversing the gun, which isn't all that high anyway. So I'd probably prefer Deadeye above Snapshot. However, Snapshot is kind of nice too. For the driver, controlled impact is not a bad idea at all, because all French tank destroyers are fairly heavy, starting with tier 7, and they are very speedy, so that means that they're perfect ramming tanks, so controlled impact is a very good idea. However, as you usually won't be fighting in the first line, I can't really recommend that all that much. I'd probably go with Smooth Ride instead of Controlled Impact, but after that you can definitely get Controlled Impact. Then next, your loader. Well, he's actually last. Well, for the loader, obviously get safe storage at some point, maybe for the third skill. Oh, it's actually a perk for the third perk. Except for that, yeah, repairs, maybe. Tactics in the ACMLE 48. We've kind of talked through them already. However, I'm just going to quickly repeat them before we get stuck into some gameplay. With the 100mm gun, you want to be kind of more on the front lines or fighting out of the second row, because you're a lot more flexible with that, just because its aiming time is a lot faster and the reload is a bit quicker. With the 120mm, you want to be sniping. I would recommend you to use this tank with 120mm because it gives you 100 HP more alpha damage, which is quite a lot, and quite a lot more penetration too, which is really necessary, as this tank gets pretty bad matchmaking, I'm afraid. You'll very, very often be facing tier 9 and tier 10 tanks, and with this gun, it will easily punch through the upper glaciers of a Tiger 2, for example. Yeah, with the 120mm, I'd be fighting out the third line. I wouldn't try to snipe over the entire battlefield because 0.33 accuracy is pretty good. However, it's not something like a Leopard 1, so you still want to be kind of at long range but not too long range. And again, because of your long aiming time, you don't want to be too far away from the target either. Your good speed will allow you to get into position quickly. You should set your tank up so that the part of the battlefield that you want to be shooting at is in your gun traverse arc, and then you should kind of wait for your allies to light up tanks and play as a kind of a sniper and support tank in the first half of the game. Then later on, if it looks good for your team and your team's pulling forwards, you can easily come on up and even go into the first line, even with a 120mm gun, because your frontal armor is very, very good. However, you never want to go pushing forward alone because you'll easily be outflanked, although your traverse speed is pretty nice. If you're in single combat and you're face hugging or you're at very close range, you should shoot, and after that you should wiggle your hull around like this, spamming the A and D keys so that your enemies won't be able to hit these weak spots up here that easily. That's a very, very important tactic in your French tank destroyers, to wiggle your hull around. Yeah, that's kind of all. It's a very, very easy tank to do very well in. It's just so much fun, and so that you can imagine what I'm talking about, I'll just show you. So, first game is an assault on Malinovka, and I started this replay at 2 minutes before the end of the game, because at the start nothing really happened except for me hiding behind a bush, taking pot shots at targets of opportunity, and by luck as much as by skill killing a T-34. So I reckon that would be kind of boring for you, so at the point where the game will only last 2 minutes, I decided it was time to move and do something. And that's where I started off now. So you'll see the AMX AC MLE48 with the 100mm gun. This is not the top gun at close quarter combat, which is what I really recommend you should do with this gun. However, I do a few mistakes in this replay here, but you know, you can learn from mistakes, so that's not bad either, really. Well, okay, it is bad, but yeah, so I'm gonna go for T-32. However, then the RT is spotted to my right side, and oh yes, I love killing RT. That was just a real pot shot there, but my quick aiming time allowed me to secure the kill. So now I'm fighting at close quarters with a T-32 at nearly full health. So this is going to be pretty tricky for me. He gets a shot through my weak spot on the top. I didn't think he would be able to make that shot. However, now he's behind that wreck there. He can't shoot at me. However, then he gets a shot to my side. I bounce with his gun mantle. I didn't aim that shot there. Now I come close, draw back, shoot at the side, and now he bounces off my gun mantle, I think. We've captured the base, so that was a really close result, and we get another shot into his flank, tear off his tracks, and the game's done. So, as you can see, thanks to the very good traverse speed and the good aiming time and the pretty fast reload in this gun, this tank can really look after itself with the 100mm gun in close quarters combat. However, that's not so much the case with the 120mm gun. So I'll just quickly show you some after game stats, and then we'll have another game. So we got 40,000 credits and 1,000 XP out of that game, and the 3rd class mastery badge, which is kind of fair, I guess, because it wasn't an incredibly awesome game, but it wasn't all that bad a game either, and it kind of was pretty good. We killed 3 enemies, damaged 7, critted the T-32 only, therefore we critted him 3 times, and we enabled spotting damage to the KV-1S as well as the T-32, and we spotted the Hummel. We got the 4th most experience, and we fired 12 shots, of which 10 hit, which is pretty good, and all of our hits penetrated, and that's only with a 100mm gun, which has got less penetration with a 120mm. We dealt out 2,000 damage, received 5 hits, of which 2 ricocheted. We received 1,600 potential damage, while we've only got 1,000 hit points, so that means we bounced shots with a potential of doing 600 damage. We detected 1 enemy, damaged 7, destroyed 3, and enabled 166 spotting damage, which isn't incredibly much. We couldn't keep all that much of our 40,000 credits that we earned, however, because our ammunition is very expensive. 1 shot costs us over 1,000 credits, so as this gun fires pretty rapidly, we had to pay a lot of credits to refill our ammo. Yeah, so as this was a good game, it wasn't an especially awesome game, so let's see if we can do a bit better in our next match. So our next game is an assault on Karelia. We are the attackers, and the matchmaking is very, very good. There are only 3 tier 8 tanks in each team, and I'm one of them. There are not all that many tier 7 tanks either, really, and quite a few tier 6 tanks. So again, I'm mounting the 100mm gun, which isn't the top gun, and I've headed out for the right flank here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to attack the enemy base, obviously, which is the target of my team. So yeah, there's quite a platoon party going on here, as you can see in the team lists, and a KV-1S there. Oh, and yes, that was pretty lucky really. We didn't aim all that much, and that again just demonstrates how important the aiming time is. Oh, a Covenanter, if we get a high damage roll, we could one-shot kill him, but we can't. 232 damage is a very, very low roll. And now there are 2 KV-1Ss, there are a whole pile of KV-1Ss in this game. Look at the amount of KV-1Ss. It's ridiculous. But, well, you know, the KV-1S is a very, very good tank. So, oh, that was a very lucky shot. And yes, we ram him. So, I don't know if I didn't shoot into my rear there. He could have easily shot, but, you know, I'm fine with that. You know, I don't like people shooting into my rear. So if he chooses not to, you know, that's all right with me. Okay, an IS-3. That's a pretty tough nut to crack at T8. So let's see if we can do it. I'm a bit afraid of these 2 KV-1Ss here because they've got these really powerful guns and they can easily penetrate the side of my tank. And yes, there we go. But this IS-3 had the side of his pike nose faced towards us, so that was kind of a pretty easy penetration. So let's see how it works if he comes around. Ah, right into his side. Very nice. 303 damage is kind of an average damage roll in this one. Now I go for the weak spot on the top of his turret. Hit it. 307 damage again. Bang on the money. And the IS is rushing in to finish off the IS-3. However, he's being a bit careful because obviously the IS-3 can one-shot him. However, he cannot one-shot the IS-3. And oh, that was a very, very lucky shot. This game consists of lucky shots, obviously. Oh god, I just was firing on the move, and well, yeah. But the aiming circle on this gun is pretty small while you're moving. So yeah, this IS-3 of our team's doing pretty well. He's got 3 kills already. So our allies on the other flank are having some problems, so we're gonna go over and help them. Oh yes, first kill. We did quite a lot of damage in this game, but that was our first kill. And now it's high. That's a bit of a threat to me because even from that distance he's got the accuracy to hit my weak spots, so I have to be careful. However, his first shot hits somewhere hits my gun mantle, I think, something like that, so it obviously ricocheted. And yeah, we easily penetrate the front of his turret. Now I'm swiveling my hull around so that he can't hit my weak spots. And aim, and yes, I think that was through the commander's cupola, or it anyway hit the top of his turret. And interestingly enough, the turret of a Tiger is armored more weakly than the front of a hull, which is interesting because in most tanks the hull has got thicker armor than the turret. So a 59-16 is sneaking up at our rear. Okay, I'm going to stop you. And can we get him? We're capping, by the way, now. And he's the only enemy left, so I bet now the whole pile of people coming down. And yes, we get the kill. Second kill, and we did quite a lot of damage. So yeah, our team easily won that game, 14-4. And let's see what we got out of that game. Yeah, that's more like it. We got 65,243 credits, 1.51k experience, a second class mastery badge, and a sniper medal. Yeah, so pretty nice result there. We got 2 kills, damaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies, and critted 2. We didn't enable spotting damage, however, but we spotted 3 enemies in a tank destroyer. That's pretty nice. I guess it won't come as a surprise to you that we got the most XP on the whole team, followed by this KV-1S, who did really well, 1,900, that's nearly 2,000 damage in a tier 8 game, in a tier 6 tank. That's very good. However, we dealt out 3,700 damage, and that's only with this 100mm gun. So if you get a very good matchmaking, this gun can do really well. However, it can do very well in a bad matchmaking too. This tank tends to get pretty bad matchmaking, so yeah, the 120mm is a bit better. We fired 14 shots and all 14 of them hit and all 14 penetrated. That's a great result. However, you must remember that we were firing nearly always at point blank or medium range, so yeah, but all the same, that's a very, very good result. We, as I already said, we dealt out 3,700 damage, which is very, very good considering that each of our shots only does 300 average damage. We received 8 hits, of which only 1 penetrated. 7 of 8 hits ricocheted. That's really, really good. But again, you must remember that most guns firing at us were lower tier than us. So yeah, but the numbers speak for themselves. That was really amazing. We received 1,440 potential damage. However, none of that stuck to us, obviously, or nearly none. We detected 3 enemies, damaged 7, destroyed 2, and travelled 1.4 clicks. Due to our high ammo cost, we had to spend a lot of money for refreshing our supplies, and we got quite a nice bunch of experience out of that game. So, if we do that well with the 100mm, how do we do with the 120mm? Let's find out. And yes, this is our game in the 48 with the 120mm gun. And right at the start I think, oh god, this is going to be a miracle if we win this, because just look at our team spread. Our entire team, and I'm not exaggerating if I say our entire team, are lemming training off to the right side, and there's nobody left on the left side except for me. I'm the only person on the left side, so my plan kind of is to wait here and just stomach the first enemy offense and then just retreat to where that VK3002D is, and yeah, then just defend our base from there as well as I can. This is not promising to become a very, very good game at all. I had this game just this morning because, well, all of the good games, or most of the good games in the ACMLE 48 I had, with the 128mm gun, I uploaded a separate gameplay videos. So if you want to see more gameplay with this 128mm gun, just check those videos out. Some of them I've only uploaded 2, I think, yeah, so they're pretty nice. And now the VK3002D is coming up to support me, so maybe we'll actually be able to make a stand here, because up till now no enemies have appeared here. Now I think that I'm kind of a bit afraid that it might be some kind of hiding behind this ridge here, and it could be, I figure, that I maybe aren't able to spot enemies coming along here. However, that isn't really all that likely, but you know, safe is safe, so I decide to pull up onto this ridgeline, and then the VK3002D spots an AMX 1375 for tier 7 French light tank, and he also detects an FCM 50T and an AMX AC 48. So I easily penetrate the frontal plate of that tank. 150mm of armor at an insane angle, no problem for this gun. Remember, this is the 128. And this time he penetrates me too. However, now I can kill him with 1 shot and he will need another 2 shots. That means I can comfortably wait here for him to come out again if he's dumb enough, and take him out then. However, he's learned now and he isn't quite as stupid as I hope he may be. So, yeah, I have to just take a shot at the AMX 1375, and I just miss the FCM. I decide to let the 48 take a shot at me, because in turn I can take him out. That leaves me in low health, but I'm playing kind of cautiously in this game anyway, so as these 2 tanks left here, the 1375 and the FCM 50T, will have real problems penetrating my frontal plate. I'm not all that afraid really, because the FCM50T will need 2 shots to kill me now anyway, and the 1375 stands no chance penetrating me from the front anyway. So I'm still taking a pretty relaxed attitude to this situation here. Yeah, as you can see, the FCM50T bounces from my front. I easily penetrate his upper glacis. Obviously no problems there. Oh, French shooting as French. I'm a bad boy. So, the VK3002D takes a hit from the 75 and now he's kind of face hugging him. So, it's me and the FCM50T left. However, the 50T is firing at the 3002D, which I guess is kind of clever, because that means the 2 of them are kind of concentrating fire at my ally. However, well, yeah, I don't think they could have concentrated fire at me, because I'm armored too strongly. I have to be careful with that Ferdinand there, because he might get a shot into my rear. However, I don't think he can reach me from here. Oh yes, just in the last second, pulled a shot right into the rear for FCM50T, or actually the side, the back of the side. So I could have finished him off if he had lived a second longer. However, the GW Panther finished him off. So yeah, nice to know that the RT's with me once, not against me. And Super Pershing spotted ahead. The Ferdinand misses me by an inch, which is lucky. My 6th sense kicks in. I can really recommend 6th sense in this tank. As you can see, I've got no problems whatsoever penetrating the upper glacis of the Ferdinand. However, my reload is a bit too long to take him out. I'm going to aim for the RT. However, the Ferdinand of our team takes him out before I can get a shot in. I don't aim long enough. I was getting a bit too carried away there, so my shot misses. And you can just see how long it takes to aim on this gun. However, now I get a shot right into the side of Ferdinand. Nice juicy target there. And can we finish him off? Can we finish him off? Oh, can we? Please, please. And no, of course, if it's crucial, my shot bounces. And now I'm just simply getting far too carried away here. And the Ferdinand kills me. Just in the last second of the game, he kills me just before he dies. Oh god, he must have been happy there. I aren't. Well, that was stupid of me going out on that ridge there. I should have predicted that would happen, but you know, I was just getting carried away, as I said. However, it was still a nice game, and along with those, with that VK3002D and that fast little Frenchie, I was able to defend that flank pretty easily, although obviously our opposition wasn't all that strong. So let's have a look how we did in that one. 45,216 credits and 1,504 experience. That's pretty nice. And a sniper medal. We only killed one tank, the AMX AC MLE-48. However, we damaged 4 tanks. Let's see, we did 817 damage to the FCM50T, 824 damage to the Ferdinand, 380 damage to the AMX 1375, we only hit that guy once, and 1000 damage to the AMX AC MLE-48. We killed him entirely, we took his whole health of him. We critted that guy once, the AMX 1375 3 times, and the FCM50T also 3 times. And we enabled spotting damage to the FCM50T, and we spotted the AMX AC MLE-48. We did best on the entire team. It was a real shame that we died just in the very last second of that game. That was just one of these lol moments, and well, it was pretty tight really. We only came in first with 3 experience lead on the T30, so he did a good job too. He did more damage than we did, but we were only a T8 tank, so we got an experience bonus on that. And I think we did. Did we shoot at T9 tanks? No, we actually didn't. So yeah, I'm not sure why we got more experience. No idea. Probably we enabled spotting damage to this FCM50T, didn't we? So that's probably the reason. So we fired 12 shots, of which 11 hit and 9 penetrated. So that's a very good ratio. We did over 3,000 damage, received 7 hits, of which only 3 penetrated. So that means about 60% of the hits we received ricocheted, which is pretty nice in a tier 9 game. We received 2,110 potential damage. That means we more than doubled our hit points with the potential damage we received, which really just demonstrates how great the armor of this tank actually is. Detected 1 enemy, damaged 5, destroyed 1, and enabled 349 spotting damage, and we only travelled 0.84 clicks in this game. Again, we couldn't keep that many of the credits that we earned just because our ammo is even more expensive. It's not a lot more expensive than the ammo of 100mm, it's just a few credits more, but still that's a difference, and the ammo is very costly on these tank destroyers. And we made 1,500 experience, so that was a very nice game. And for the summary of this very nice tank, let's go back to the garage. So, the Tier 8 French tank destroyer. It's an amazing vehicle and I really love it. As I said, I think I've never ever enjoyed driving a tank as much as this baby here. It's just so much fun, and I'll probably have to sell it to be able to afford the Foch when I get it. But when I've got enough money saved up again, I'm probably going to rebuy it at some stage because it's just such a fun tank to play. And things even get better still with the Foch, because the Foch gets 180mm of armor. That means 30mm of armor more than the Tier 8 tank, and it's got the same gun, but the gun gets a better aiming time, which is the main drawback of the gun on the Tier 8 tank. And it gets 500 hit points more, which is pretty much. So, can I recommend this tank? Hell yes! It's just so great. It's there's just very few drawbacks. One being the alpha damage. I think it's got the lowest alpha damage of Tier 8 tank destroyers. However, that's compensated for by the amazing penetration, the amazing accuracy, the amazing DPM, the amazingly quick reload, all that kind of stuff. So that's one drawback, the low alpha damage. The second drawback is the pretty bad matchmaking. However, I think all Tier 8 tank destroyers get bad matchmaking. And what's the third drawback? Oh, I can't think of one. So yeah, this tank is amazing. And when I say it's got low alpha damage, I don't say it hasn't got low alpha damage at all. 400 average alpha damage. They're Tier 10 tanks that look at that with envy. That's a lot of alpha damage. However, it's just not as much as the other Tier 8 premium tanks. Although I think the T28 prototype might have as little alpha damage too. I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to look it up because it's going to take ages. But this tank is just so much fun to drive, and I can just say it again and again. I can really recommend it. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm going to keep on going down this tank line. Review of the AMX 50 Foch and the Foch 155 are coming up soon. I hope you're looking forward to those, and let's see how much experience have I got left till I get the Foch. Yeah, just short of 100,000. I'm still gonna get the Foch in during these vacations, I hope, so in the next 4 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to that tank. It's a really good piece of armor. And I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it gave you some useful information on how to use this tank to its whole benefits and how amazing it is. If it did, consider giving it a like, consider subscribing to my channel for more stuff like this, and I hope I'll see you in one of my next videos that will be coming up soon, like nearly every day. So, till then, and bye bye.